Hello. This is a super time for me. Mari and I, my wife and I, drove here tonight realizing this was our first time we've ever had a date on a Saturday night, you know? We've been married, it'll be 8 years this next month. And here, our first Saturday night date, we're off to a Larry Norman concert, you know? Hallelujah. It's wonderful. There's really not much I could say about Larry that you probably don't already know. I just, you know, thinking back, the first time I met Larry was in San Diego. I'd just come to know Jesus as my Savior. And I didn't know much about Christianity. I didn't know much about religion and all that. I just knew that there was something happening with Jesus, and I had to find out what was going on. And And I went to a big thing down in San Diego, and Larry happened to be there. And he came walking up to me, and I'd never seen anybody like him, you know? I'll never forget him because his eyes were going, you know? You know on 4th of July when you light the little sparklers and they would like that? That's what his eyes looked like. They were just going like that, you know? And a little grin on his face, and he came up to me. And he just told me that he really loved me, and he heard that I just got saved. And he says, if there's ever anything I can do for you, man, he said, lean on me. You know, and I never forgot that. So it really gives me super, super pleasure to be here tonight. And won't you join with me in welcoming to the stage Larry Norman. You know.
He's an unidentified flying object. You will see him in the air. He's an unidentified flying object, and you will drop your hands and stare. You will be afraid to tell your neighbors. They might think that it's not true. But when they open up the morning papers, they will know they've seen him too. He will come back like he promised, with the price already paid. He will gather up his followers and take us all away. He's an unidentified flying object. He will sweep down from the sky. He's an unidentified flying object, and some will sleep but will not die. He's an unidentified flying object, coming back to take you home. He's an unidentified flying object. He will roll away your stone. And if there's life on other planets, I'm sure that he must know. And he's been there once already and has died to save their souls. He's an unidentified flying object. You will see him in the air. He's an unidentified flying object, and you will drop your hands and stare. He's an unidentified flying object, coming back to take you home. He's an unidentified flying object. He will roll away your stone. When you first begin your journey, you're not sure of who you are, and the lessons that you're learning, they don't seem to take you far, and you just can't keep from stumbling, though you try so hard to stand. And the truth can be so humbling when it's just beyond your hand. As though youth were my invention, as though love lay undefined. To stay free was my intention, to stay young and unconfined. And so I held my pride above you. Oh yes, what a fool was I, holding back those words, I love you, and letting out that word, goodbye. I was wrong to let you go. I was a child and I did not know about the love that we both could have given. And now you've gone so far away. I hope I'll see you again someday. But if I don't, I hope I'll see you in heaven. I was foolish in my younger days to think they'd never end. Life confused me with its changing ways, and I could not comprehend all the meaning in those moments, now lost like footprints in the sand. And I'm standing here remembering, but it's so hard to understand. And I was wrong to let you go. I was a child, how could I know about the love that we both should have given? And now you're gone so far away. I hope I'll see you again someday. But if I don't, I hope I'll see you in heaven. I've been sitting in this garden in the middle of my days, and my memories fade and harden as the years they slip away. And I've been looking in this mirror at the age around my eyes. Time is such an earnest laborer, precision is his neighbor. Lay my body in the ground, but let my spirit touch the skies. And I was wrong to let you go. I was a child, I just did not know about the love that we both should have, could have given. And now you're gone so far away. I hope I'll see you again someday, baby. But if I don't, I hope I'll see you in heaven. If I don't, I hope I'll see you in heaven. But if I don't, I hope I'll see you in heaven. I don't write a lot about relationships. They're just hard to write about. And it's probably the most important thing in life is relationships. That's about all you've got, unless you really relate to your breakfast cereal and rocks and trees and stuff. Why can't you behave? Why can't you be good? You don't even try to do the things you should. Well, what is the reason? I'd like to know why you can't be good. You go into the bedroom, you say you got to powder your nose, but the powder is cocaine. I see traces on your clothes. Well, what is the reason? I'd like to know why you can't be good. Take another look inside your dreams tonight when you go to sleep. Try and find the reasons why you've lost your way like some little sheep. You say that you love me and that your heart is true, but you got so many other lovers. Well, what am I supposed to do? Well, what is the reason? I'd like to know. What is the reason? I'd like to know. What is the reason? I'd like to know why you can't be good. I heard some rumors about me. I heard I had been backsliding. I didn't believe in God, and I was taking drugs. I was really upset to hear these kinds of things. And I asked around, and I found out it's not true. I heard another rumor. I heard that I had gone to the White House to sing for the president. That's a lie. I went to the White House, but not to sing. I went to give the president advice. Like when Mr. Carter was president, if I'd been president, I would have done things differently. You know, I just like, instead of trying to be friends with the Russians and, you know, have détente, and I just would have got tough with them. I would have said, get your troops out of Afghanistan. There are no more Levi's. I would have told Iran to let the hostages go, or else next time we're going to crash the helicopters even closer. Well, I ended up singing at the White House. Just before I went on to sing, Gretchen Poston, the social secretary for the White House, came backstage and told me not to sing or say anything political or religious. I didn't know any Neil Diamond songs. So I sang this song. I was born and raised an orphan in a land that once was free, in a land that poured its love out on the moon. And I grew up in the shadows of your silos filled with grain, and you never helped to fill my empty spoon. And when I was 10, you murdered law with courtroom politics, and you learned to make a lie sound just like truth. But I know you better now, and I don't fall for all your tricks. And you've lost the one advantage of my youth. You kill a black man at midnight just for talking to your daughter. Then you make his wife your mistress, and you leave her without water. And the sheet you wear upon your face is the sheet your children sleep on. At every meal you say a prayer you don't believe, but still you keep on. And your money says in God we trust, but it's against the law to pray in school. You say we beat the Russians to the moon, and I say you starved your children to do it. You were far across the ocean, but the war was not your own. While you were winning theirs, you almost lost the one at home. Did you really think the only way to bring about real peace was to sacrifice your children to kill all your enemies? Your politicians all make speeches, and the newsmen all take notes, and they exaggerate false issues as they try to shove it down our throats. Is it really up to them whether our country sinks or floats? Really? Well, I wonder who would lead us if none of us would vote. My phone is tapped, my lips are chapped from whispering through the fence. You know every move I make, or is that just coincidence? Will you try to make my way of life a little less like jail if I promise to send you tapes and slides and send them through the mail? Your money says in God we trust, but it's against the law to pray in school. You say we beat the Russians to the moon, and I say you starved your children to do it. You say all men are equal, all men are brothers. Then why are the rich more equal than others? Don't ask me for the answers, I've only found one, that a man leaves his darkness when he follows the sun. Last night I had that same old dream. It rocked me in my sleep and left me the impression that the Sandman plays for keeps. I dreamed I was in concert on the middle of a cloud. John Wayne and Billy Graham were giving breath mints to the crowd. I fell through a hole in heaven, I left the stage for good. But when I landed on earth, I was back in Hollywood. Rats. The California earthquake tore the land in half. While San Andreas cleared her throat, I heard tsunami laugh. The ground began to tremble, the land began to sway, and people in the other states, they're glad they moved away. But suddenly California just floated in the breeze, while every state that wasn't there sank down into the seas. Soon I saw Atlantis rumble and rise high, and the great egg of Euphrates came down out of the sky. And out stepped Shirley Temple with Guy Kibbe, who was dead, and that communist Bill Robinson, whom Shirley called Black Red. They had a marionette of Harpo Marx. They said it was an inside joke, but when I honked his horn, he came alive, and these were the words he spoke. He said, with the continents adrift and the sun about to shift, will the ice caps drown us all or will we burn? We polluted what we own. Will we reap what we have sown? Are we headed for the end or can we turn? We pave the forests, kill the streams, burn the bridges to our dreams. The earth is bursting at the seams, and in pain of childbirth screams as it gives life to what seems to either be an age that gleams or simply lays there, dying. If this goes on, will life survive? How can it? Out of the grave, oh, who will save our planet? I said, I'm pleased to meet you. I always thought you were a scream. He said, have you ever thought of having Helen Keller in your dream? I said, Errol Flynn dropped by, but then he tried to steal my girl. But she ran off with Ronald Coleman. He said something about a new world. Now I'm stuck with my own cooking. I'm lonely, can't you see? Willie grabbed my leg and said exactly 89 words to me. Count 'em. Let the proud but dying nation kiss the last generation. It's the year of the pill, age of the gland. We have landed on the moon, but we'll clutter that up soon. Our sense of freedom's gotten out of hand. We kill our children, swap our wives. We've learned to greet a man with knives. We swallow pills in 4s and 5s. Our cities look like crumbling hives. Man does not live, he just survives. We sleep till he arrives. Love is a corpse, we sit and watch it harden. We left it oh so long ago, the garden. The string snapped briskly, then went slack. The marionette lay dead. While Hoover played with the motorcade, the body slumped and bled. The man who held the camera disappeared into the crowd. And I said, the hope of youth, fictitious truth, lays covered in a shroud. Then up walked Elmo Lincoln, and he said, I beg your pardon, but we left it oh so long ago, the garden. He said, we left it oh so long ago, the garden, 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 garden. Okay, which song is it? They're all the same. I only write 2 songs, slow and fast. You know, I was born with a photographic memory. I ran out of film when I was 4. In the midst of the war, he offered us peace. He came like a lover from out of the east, with the face of an angel in the heart of a beast. His intentions were 666. He walked up to the temple with gold in his hand, and he bought off the priests in proposition the land. And the world was his harlots and laid in the sand, while the band played 666. We served at his tables and slept on the floor, but he starved us and beat us and nailed us to the door. Well, I'm ready to die, I can't take any more, and I'm sick of his lies and his tricks. He told us he loved us, but that was a lie. There was blood in his pockets and death in his eye. Well, my number is up, and I'm willing to die if the band will play 666. If the band will play 660. If the band will play 666. The word is revolution, and no one's fired the shot. Each side has its battle plans with detailed counterplots, and the world is closely watching as we near the battle line. If you're truly wise, you keep your eyes on Palestine. Just read the newspapers, watch television. The water is polluted and the air is filled with death. Someday it won't be easy to stop and catch your breath, but it's all in Revelation. It's just part of his design. If you're truly wise, you keep your eyes on Palestine. La 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 la. La 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 la. MX, AWACS. La 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 la. La 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 la. I marched for peace in Washington when things were getting hot. That was back when Barry was walking around too. I gave blood in Chicago. I went anemic on the spot. How many pints you give, Barry? I would have hitchhiked out to Woodstock, but it's such a waste of time. So I'm writing down this song to you, to sing and pass along to you. If you're truly wise, you keep your eyes on Palestine. La 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 la. La 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 la. Revolution. La 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 la. A peace and pollution. La 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 la. A persecution. La 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 la. La 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 la. What rhymes with Asian? La 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 nation. La la la. Bombs. La 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 la. Jesus coming back again. Some say he was an outlaw. that he roamed across the land with a band of unschooled ruffians and a few young fishermen. No one knew just where he came from or exactly what he'd done, but they said it might be something bad that keeps him on the run. And some say he was a poet, 'cause he'd stand upon the hill and his words could calm an angry crowd or make the waves stand still. And he spoke in many parables that few could understand, but the people sat for hours just to listen to that man. Some say he was a sorcerer, a man of mystery. He could walk upon the water, he could make a blind man see. And he conjured wine at weddings and did tricks with fish and bread. He spoke of being born again and he raised people from the dead. Some thought he might have been a up-and-coming politician, 'cause he always talked of being free. And he was followed by the people on the shores of Galilee. He spoke out against corruption and he bowed to no decree. And they feared his strength and power, so they nailed him to a tree. Some say he was the Son of God, a man above all men. But he came to be a servant and to set us free from sin. And that's who I believe he was, 'cause that's who I believe. And I think we should get ready, 'cause it's almost time to leave. And I think we should get ready, 'cause it's time for us to leave. Confusing to people if you don't explain what's really happened, if you just, reel out all the cliches. Like if somebody's coming down the street and you walk up to them and say, "Brother, have you been washed in the blood?" "I hope not." "Well, have you been born again?" "Not lately." "Well, have you ever been saved?" "Oh, yeah, last summer, up at camp. It was a really nice night. Moon was full, and we're out in the lake in the boat, and I stood up, and I can't swim, and these guys had to drag me." That's not what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find out if you ever deeply experienced a kind of personal revelation, like a sanctification, like being born, washed in the consecration. I'm trying to tell you the good news. The good news? What's that? You're going to hell. What's the bad news? God's not interested in who's good and bad. You don't get to heaven because you're good. You don't go to hell because you're bad. You get to heaven because you asked to. You don't go to hell because you're bad. You go to hell because you didn't want to go to heaven. So good and bad is not what's really important. You either believe in God or you don't. You either have Jesus or you don't. And God's not confused by who really believes. He knows. Backstage, I cross the middle ground. Curtain up and house lights down. I sing my songs. I try to pass my heart around. And sometimes afterward, some people think I try to put them down. It feels so bad, it doesn't matter what I say. I hope tomorrow they have a better day. They seem so trapped, they need release, they need your strong love and strange peace. Reporters question me, is this some new direction for the young? How lamb-like their faces, but how snake-like their tongues. They quote me perfectly, then rewrite every word I speak, and go away convinced that that we're all some new kind of freaks. I feel so good inside, it never matters what they say. I hope tomorrow they have a better day. We're all so trapped, we need release, we need your strong love and strange peace. Please give me your strong love and strange peace. We need your strong love and strange peace.